Hey guys, my name is Chris and welcome to Cross Shop. Today I'm bringing you another entry in my pickups series called the Collecting Saga. The stuff I'm going to show you today is gathered from a variety of different places, including thrift stores, a yard sale, and online of course too. It's a pretty nice variety of things, so I'm really excited to show some of this stuff off. None of the titles or items that I got were just mind-blowingly huge or crazy, but it's still a really nice assortment of things, really broadens out the library of games I've got for a number of different systems. I think there's right at 40 games I'm going to show you today, as well as a few other odds and ends, so let's take a look. I recently discovered a thrift store in St. Louis that I hadn't known about before, and I'm pretty excited because I've been there 3 times in the past, I think 3 weeks, and every time I've gone in, they've had games. And it's funny because when I first came in, I asked the clerk, I said, wow, this is awesome. Do you guys normally have games? They said, no, it's pretty seldom. You know, we don't always have them. But every time I've gone in so far, they have hit or miss a little bit, but some stuff that I still picked up and still kind of wanted. So this stuff I'm going to show you next is from the very first visit. The first time I visited it was in some ways the best. It didn't have the quantity of games, but it had some serious quality. The first title I landed here was Battletoads, the Battle Maniacs, which normally, I forget the price of it right now, but I paid $7 for this, which was awesome because I think it goes for substantially more than that at the moment. This was really cool. They weren't complete, but I was still pretty happy with the fact that these games alone were there, but they also had their manuals, all 3 of them. And first up, that was Banjo-Kazooie. And these, by the way, these carts and the manuals are in great condition. The only sad thing is it's got RN on the back there. No RN or other besmirching going on this set. We've got the first Mario Party, also great. I already had the second Mario Party, but this one was new. I didn't have this in my collection. And lastly, the most uncommon of the 3, again with manual, and particularly crispy on this one. Mario Party 3. Really glad to have that, because that rounds out all 3 of the Mario Party games on the N64 for me. I don't have the boxes, but that's okay. Again, at that same thrift store I found here in St. Louis, got an N64 game, and that's Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. This is complete. That was the only Nintendo item from that visit, but on the same visit, I found a huge stack of Sega Genesis games, and I'm really excited because all of them are different, and I didn't have any of them. So first up, we've got Desert Demolition, starring Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. And this one and the next one I'll show you are not in their red clamshells. These are just cardboard boxes, but every single one of these was complete too, so that was really cool. Toy Story, which I think we can all agree is an intensely 3D experience.
Good one.
Got a sports title I didn't have, and that's ESPN National Hockey Night. Batman Returns, a game based on probably my favorite of the 2 Michael Keaton Batman movies. Subterranea. The Addams Family, which now rounds out the couple of 16-bit Addams Family games. I got the Super Nintendo version of the game, I think in my last pickups video actually, and that's also complete, so that's pretty cool. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Goofy's Hysterical History Tour. A Konami game, Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure. Anybody who's familiar with the French cartoon of this will probably correct my pronunciation, but I believe it's Asterix, I'm not sure, and The Great Rescue. Supposedly this is based off a French cartoon. I hadn't known that until I got this, and actually my girlfriend told me. A good old Capcom game, The Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie. And lastly, Echo the Dolphin, The Tides of Time. On the final visit to that thrift store, which was actually just a couple of days ago, pickings were really slim this time, but there were still a few new things that weren't there the last time, and I decided to grab them because they were super cheap. I got a complete copy of A Bug's Life for the PS1 for $2. My very first original Xbox game, Conflict, Desert Storm 2, Back to Baghdad. It's actually pretty fitting that I got this when I did because it was on Memorial Day. And lastly, a game that I actually have owned twice now and then have sold off or traded off a couple of other times, but this time I think I'll be hanging on to for sure, is The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I've played this one a ton, used to rent it all the time back in the day, never owned it. I then bought it and then sold it. I then bought it again, or got it, I think, in a lot or something, and then sold it.
I then bought it and then sold it.
I then bought it.
Got rid of it again, so this time I solemnly swear that I am up to some good and will be keeping this. I was still driving around and I stopped in at a V-Stock and they were having a buy two get the third thing free sale on all video games and accessories. I needed a cable, another cable, and decided to grab this Konami game for the N64, Deadly Arts. I played this a little bit. It's got some quirky music and some really weird characters. Controls are a little odd, but definitely fun to mess around with. Taking a brief segue into some stuff that I got either online or like GameStop or just some other stores where I didn't pay, full retail necessarily. I still was very careful about the prices, but it still didn't match the great deals that I got at that thrift store or at the yard sale, which I'll show you here in just a minute or so. Up first, we've got Metroid Zero Mission, which is complete, and this copy is in excellent shape. I've already played through and beaten this. It's not a long game, but boy is it good. It's so good. I feel like this really is the best way to play the first Metroid, unless you're just really into nostalgia, which the good news is the original Metroid is on this cart. Once you beat the original game, you unlock the original NES version, which is really cool. And as a huge fan of Metroid Fusion, now Super Metroid, and really most of the Metroid games anyway, Metroid Prime especially, I couldn't go wrong with this. This did come from eBay, and I didn't pay the full going price on this. I won an auction at a really good price, but this was probably still the most expensive single item that I bought. Next is a game that no one will have ever heard of, and that's The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. It's complete. I've owned this game before, and as a big dummy, when I was in, I think, 4th or 5th grade, I sold my Nintendo 64 along with my original copy of Ocarina of Time. It's been until now that I've finally reclaimed a proper copy of this. The box isn't in perfect shape, but it's still in good enough shape that I'm satisfied, at least for now. If I ever get a box upgrade down the road, that's fine by me. Easily in my top 3 favorite games of all time that I've ever played. Holds a lot of sentimental value to me and my brother, actually, as well. So, really glad to have this back. I had a coupon at GameStop pretty recently and decided that I wanted to get the next most important Silent Hill entries, so I got Silent Hill HD Collection for the PS3. And this is the only PlayStation 3 game I got this time. Haven't played these two yet, but wanted to grab this. I feel like it could become somewhat uncommon down the road. Wanted to play these in high definition once I get around to completing the first one. This next game also came from a store called Vintage Stock here in St. Louis, and that's Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I actually haven't played this one. I played the first and the third, and I'm glad to have this because this now completes the 3 Metroid Prime games that have been released so far. A kind of random item I added, and this one was actually free, sort of. As part of the Club Nintendo program, which has now ended, I became a Platinum member by loading up my account with enough points from qualifying Nintendo games to choose the 300-piece Fierce Deity Majora's Mask jigsaw puzzle. I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed that this came in just this kind of cheap black bag. The logo is cool and all that, but it's not really something that you can preserve all that long, really, unless you're super careful or anal retentive. But regardless, it's pretty neat, and my girlfriend and I, she's a huge puzzle fan. We're looking forward to putting this one together, so we'll probably be doing that soon, and chances are good we may even frame it, just so it's preserved and looks nice.
Now, guys.
I didn't collect any amiibo, and I only added 2 action figures really in general. And some of you may have seen this first one I'm going to show you in my unboxing video, which I'll link below. And that's the World of Nintendo 6-inch Metroid figure, which I'm still just so thrilled with. This thing is awesome. It was very much worth the $15 I paid for it on Amazon. If you haven't seen the unboxing video for this, I'll link it below in case you want to see it up close and a little bit more personal. And the only other action figure I added, I got for $1 at a garage sale just kind of on a whim. And that's the Alien action figure. It's a reaction figure. And it's just the good old Xenomorph from the first Alien movie. It was in a recent Frank Crate Pat the NES Punk video, which I'll link to below too in case you haven't seen it. But I had to laugh because I'd just seen that video and I came across this in a garage sale. I said, oh, I've got to get it. Wrapping this video up, I'm going to show you the finds that I grabbed from the yard sale day that I did a couple weeks ago. I haven't been able to go yard sailing all that much here lately. I've just been too busy with other things. The one day I really dedicated to it, I found all this next stuff on this very first sale that I visited, and I'm really glad that I grabbed what I did. Kind of bummed that I couldn't get more. It was a mix of things, and there were a total of 17 games. So up first from this yard sale that I went to, I grabbed 3 DS games, and that's FIFA 06 Soccer, Asphalt Urban GT, and Real-Time Conflict Shogun Empires. And these were all complete. I grabbed a stack of all the GameCube games that I could, and those are Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06, FIFA 06 Soccer, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Hitman 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, Mystic Heroes, with the official Nintendo seal of quality and the official seal of quality from BLJ, Bacon Lettuce Joseph. Stupid. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, Spartan Total Warrior, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, the very first one, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike, and the one Wii game I got from that was Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. The really cool thing about these games was that all of the GameCube titles were 50 cents, the Wii was $1, and there were actually a couple of Xbox 360 games. And in some ways, I kind of wish I'd kept them. I only paid $1 for those two, but I don't actually have an Xbox 360, and I knew I couldn't play them. And those Xbox 360 titles were Fable 2 and some other game that I can't remember now. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, these were all 50 cents. That was $1. And the DS games were also only 50 cents. So really, really nice. I paid $10. Well, dudes, that was the last of the stuff that I gathered for this particular pickups video, and I really hope that you enjoyed what you saw. I know I was really stoked, especially on that Sega Genesis stuff and then that yard sale find of those GameCube games. So that was pretty cool, and I'm interested to know, what was your favorite thing you saw here? What do you think my best find was on this one? And what have you guys been finding recently? Have yard sales been going really well for you this spring? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. And if it's your first time here and you enjoyed what you saw today, feel free to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching Cross Chop today, and take care.